Okay, moving to the next paragraph. The tramp did not say anything either. He had not come there to talk but only to warm himself and sleep. So far we have come to know that the tramp has entered the forge just for the sake of getting shelter to spend the night there. So when the blacksmith did not talk to him, he didn't bother about, because he had come here just to sleep. In those days, the Ramsey Iron Mill was owned by a very prominent, a very famous, well known iron master whose greatest ambition was to ship out good iron to the market, who wanted to sell the best quality of iron in the market. He watched both night and day to see that the work was done as well as possible. So the work should go on very perfectly in the mill, and at this very moment he came into the forge on one such his nightly rounds of inspection. So now he came there just for the sake of inspection. Naturally, the first thing he saw was the tall ragamuffin, the man with a dirty expression, dirty appearance, dirty clothes, long beard, and he is known as a ragamuffin who had eased, who was relaxing his way too close to the furnace. That steam rose from his wet clothes because it was raining outside, so he was totally drenched, and now the steam was coming out of his clothes. Ironmaster did not follow the example of the blacksmith. Like the blacksmith didn't talk to the man, but Ironmaster was not the that kind of person who had hardly denied to look at the stranger. But he straight walked close to him, looked him over very carefully, looked the man, then tore off his staunch hat to get a better view of his face. He just lifted his hat just to see the face very clearly. But of course, it is you, Nailsolf, he said. How you do look. Now, what happened? The man is an ex serviceman and he mistook this ragamuffin, this intruder, this vagabond, this rat trap seller to be one of his old regimental comrade, his old acquaintance, his old friend, you can say. The man with the rat traps had never before seen the Iron Master at Ramzo and did not even know what his name was. The rat trap seller was very much surprised. He didn't know anything about the man. He didn't know even the name of the man. He has never met him. But it occurred to him. But he realized one thing, that if the fine gentleman thought he was an old acquaintance, if this man is thinking that I am his old friend, he might perhaps throw him a couple of kroner. He might give him some more money, because the man has become greedy now. Therefore, he did not want to undeceive him at all. Undeceive means deceive means to cheat. Undeceive means not to cheat. But he did not want not to cheat. Double negative means negative is positive. He wants to cheat the man now. Yes, God knows things have gone downhill with me. Now he started pretending. He started showing off. Yes, God knows the days are very bad with me nowadays. You should not have resigned from the regiment. That was the only thing, said the Iron Master. That was the mistake. That only I had still been in the service at the time, it never would have happened. And the man accepted that it was my only fault to resign from my regiment. If I had been there, this bad luck have not come to me. Now, of course, you will come to home with me. So it's better you should come home with me now, to go along up to the manor's house to be received by the honor like an old regimental comrade. Now he was in a doubt what to do, whether he should go to the man's house like a friend or not. However, did not please the tramp, but he was not happy, because in the heart of heart he knows what is the reality. No, I couldn't think of it, he said, looking quite alarmed. He was alarmed and he was just tense also. He thought of the 30 kroner to go up to the manor house would be like throwing himself voluntarily, knowingly, into the lion's den, to put oneself in a danger. If I decide to go with the man, I'll be caught. It will be clear to him that I have stolen the money. He only wanted a chance to sleep here in the night in the forge. He just want to spend the night and then sneak away silently without being noticed. He will move away in the morning. The ironmaster assumed, the ironmaster thought he felt embarrassed because of his miserable clothing. He was not in a presentable condition, so maybe he was feeling embarrassed. That's why he didn't want to go with him. Please don't think that I have such a fine home that you can't show yourself there. Don't be embarrassed. I'm not so rich that you are so poor you can't come to my home with me, he said. Elizabeth is dead. Elizabeth is the wife of the ironmaster. As you may already have heard, my boys are abroad. My sons are living in abroad, and there is no one at home except my oldest daughter. My elder daughter, oldest one, and myself. We two are living here. No one else is there. We are just saying, we were thinking together that it was too bad we didn't have any company for Christmas, that we are to celebrate Christmas and we don't have any company, any friend. Now come along with me and help us make the Christmas food disappear a little faster. That has been made for two. If it will be consumed by three, it will finish quickly. But the stranger said no and no and no again. The ironmaster saw that he must give in. He should accept. He should not force the man to come with me. It looks as though Captain Von still prefer to stay with you tonight, Stenstorm. So he thought that I think the man want to live here with you in the forge, he said to the master blacksmith and turned on his heel. But he laughed to himself as he went away, and the blacksmith who knew him, blacksmith knew that he has been mistaken, understood very well that he had not said his last word. It was not more than half an hour before they heard the sound of carriage wheels outside the forge. Just half an hour passed, and after half an hour hardly, again a car came outside the forge, and a new guest came in. Who was this? This was the daughter of that ironmaster, and her name is Adela Wimilson. But this time it was not the ironmaster. He had sent his daughter, apparently hoping, with this hope, that she would have better power of persuasion. Persuasion means to compel someone, to convince someone than he himself. He was not able to convince the man. Now she can. So he sent Adela. She entered, followed by a valet. Valet is known as a servant, carrying on his arm a big fur coat. He was having a coat on the arm. She was not at all pretty, but seemed modest and quite shy. She was just a normal girl, very shy in nature. In the forge, everything was just as it had been earlier in the evening. The work was going on smoothly. The master blacksmith and his apprentice still sat on their benches, and the iron charcoal still glowed in the furnace. The process was going on. The stranger had stretched himself. He was feeling relaxed, stretched his body to be relaxed at all, out on the floor, and lay with a piece of big iron under his head as a pillow. He has taken it and was sleeping, or you can say he was resting over there when she came. He was having his hat over his eyes, and as soon as the girl caught sight of him, she went up and lifted his hat. Just lifted the hat. The man was evidently used to sleeping with one eye open. It's nothing new. Some people are in the habit of sleeping with an eye open. He jumped up abruptly, but when he saw the girl, he stood up. Abruptly means suddenly, and seemed to be quite frightened, as if he was afraid. My name is Adela Wimilson, said the young girl. My father came home and said that you wanted to sleep here in the forge tonight. My father told me that you just want to be here, and then I asked permission. I took his permission to come and bring you home to us. I'm so sorry, Captain, that you are having such a hard time. You are going through a very bad time. It's so sorry. So it's better you come with me to my home. Now she is able to convince him, and he will get ready.